Hello guys, Dr.Pitanger here, and today I want to make a little list of 16 operators that I think as a new player you should definitely raise in order to play IS. So you might be wondering why 16 specifically? Well, it's simple. It will be 2 operators of each class, and all of these operators will be non-limited and only gacha, so it won't include operators, for example, like Ladia, that can be obtained for free. So first of all, if you're a new Arknights player, or if you're considering playing Arknights, the question should be, should you play Arknights for integrated strategies alone? And the answer is, it depends. Integrated strategies, particularly the 4th iteration of it, is a fantastic game mode that could honestly be its own game. The main issue you may have with it, if you only want to play this game mode, is that, well, you're gonna have to upgrade your operators first, and this will probably take months. So if you don't want to go to the hassle of upgrading your operators, I mean, it's a gacha game after all, then you should probably not do that. However, if you don't mind, and you like the tower defense aspect of Arknights, then you should definitely give it a try. Anyway, here is the list of the 16 operators. For guard, you're gonna want to upgrade Mlynar and Breaker. Mlynar is a fantastic guard that shreds through every enemy in Arknights, whether it's in IS or not. He can both kill bosses, kill waves of enemies, kill both at the same time. There is very little that Mlynar can do, and on top of this, he's very tanky. The main issue is that he's not operational at all time, so be careful when using him. The second operator is Breaker. Breaker has an extremely strong burst ability and a very powerful talent that allows her to gain survivability and increase the damage she deals, so definitely upgrade these 2 guards if you get them. Mlynar doesn't get much synergy in IS, not that he needs to anyway, except for the guard relics, and Breaker has quite a lot of synergies, most notably with spinach-like items. So you might be wondering, why didn't I pick Thorns? Well, in my opinion, any new player who wants to play IS at some point should in any case select Thorns in the voucher they get on day 5. And yes, I would say Thorns is even more important than, for example, Saria. The only reason why you wouldn't pick Thorns is if you get Thorns on the first multiple you get. Even if you get Silver Ash, I would advise to get Thorns, because unless you're tackling very late game stages, I would say that 90% of the time Saria can be replaced by other operators like, for example, Gummy, while Thorns can't be replaced by anyone. There's a huge difference between the 2 vanguards I'm gonna offer you to upgrade, but the first one and the most powerful vanguard of them all is easily Ines. Ines is an absolute monster in IS. She can generate DP very fast, she can reveal invisible enemies, she can hit aerial units, she can hit units in multiple lanes, she can hit units from very far away. There is literally nothing she can do. She's even somewhat tanky because if she roots enemies, if she slows enemies, then enemies won't reach her and she won't take as much damage as other vanguards, for example. So definitely upgrade Ines if you get her. The second vanguard I want to advise is Saga. Saga is clearly not as powerful as Ines. Still, she has a lot of things going for her. She has SP regeneration with a talent that can be passed down to other units as well, if you use her S3 instead of her S2. Her S2 can cover multiple lanes, so can her S3. Her other talent gives her dodging synergies. Her S3 increases her attack by a lot, actually. So yeah, Saga is definitely a very good operator, and while she's not as powerful as Ines, there are still things that she does that Ines can. For example, she has block 2 compared to Ines's block 1, so in very early game she's actually more useful than Ines, I would say. So yeah, definitely upgrade Saga if you get her. Just don't forget to lower the volume of your speaker when you use her. For casters, I would advise upgrading Golden Glow and Logos. Golden Glow is an extremely powerful operator that can hit in global range, one of the few operators that is able to do that, and her resistance shredding ability even allows her to be useful in IS-3, even though in IS-3, in high surging waves, enemies have a lot of resistance. Logos in general is just absolutely busted. The module he was released with is unbelievably powerful, and if you get Logos, you absolutely want to unlock his module first. He can be useful with his S3 that slows down enemy missiles and bullets, so for example against Highmore or Ishamla. So yeah, nothing wrong with Logos at all. Upgrade him ASAP if you get him. For snipers, I would advise Ray and Typhon. Ray is an absolutely ridiculous sniper that benefits from a lot of relics, and is one of the units that benefits the most from Foul Beast. If if you deploy Ray, you have Foul Beast, and you deploy her Sand Beast and you use her as 3, she will demolish everything in her way, whether it is regular enemies or even bosses. So absolutely upgrade this unit if you get her. She is currently one of the strongest operators in the game, even outside of IS. And the second one is Typhon. Typhon is not as powerful as Ray, but she has 2 good things for her. First of all, she can stun, and the stun is actually very useful in IS 3 most notably, because there are a lot of hovering enemies that need to be stunned. And second of all, she has a global range on her S3 as long as she can deal at least 1 shot, which can be extremely useful against a lot of bosses. So yeah, definitely upgrade Typhon if you get her. For supporters, I would advise Suzuran and Nosis. Suzuran in general is one of the best operators in Arknights. She can do a lot of things. She can slow, she can heal, she can increase the damage enemies take. Nosis, on the other hand, shouldn't really be considered a supporter. He's more like a caster in disguise, but with the added utility that he can freeze enemies. And freezing enemies is pretty rare in Arknights and can be surprisingly useful sometimes. The resistance shredding from the freezing can also be very useful. And in general, a lot of times you will get supporter vouchers and you will cry because you actually wanted more damage, but then you remember that, oh, you actually have Nosis, and now suddenly you have a quote-unquote caster, and so that's why I consider him to be very good. For specialist, I would advise Dorothy and Ascalon. Dorothy's gameplay is a bit unconventional. You have to set up traps in order to hit enemies, but Dorothy can do quite a lot of things. She can debuff enemies, she can root in AoE, she can slow down enemies in AoE, she can deal a lot of ground damage, she benefits from Foul Beast, she can even hit aerial enemies with her basic attacks. The gameplay might be a bit different from all other operators, still I would strongly advise upgrading her if you get her. Ascalon is much more straightforward. You just deploy Ascalon and she will destroy every enemy unit that will come her way and in AoE. However, be careful about her 0 block. Ascalon will tear down any enemy with her damage over time, with her slow. Also, the Ambusher Relic is extremely powerful in IS, so yeah. For medics, I would strongly advise Kal'tsit and Reed. These are the only medics in 6-star that are able to deal damage, and in IS this is very valuable. Reed will deal arts damage, while Kal'tsit summons Monster, a 3-block unit that is similar to an AoE god and will deal a lot of ground damage. Kal'tsit benefits a lot from Civilite Eterna, that increases true damage because her S3 makes Monster deal true damage, while Reed is just absolutely busted in general because of the AoE, the damage over time, and so on. So definitely upgrade these 2 units if you ever get them. Also, Kal'tsit's recent alpha module makes her even stronger than before. Finally, we have defenders. For defenders, I would advise Jessica the Liberated and Horn. Jessica the Liberated makes every early stage a breeze because she can do everything. She can reveal enemies, she can deal single target damage, she can dodge, she can deal AoE damage, she can stun, she can change the direction of her attack, she has vertical range increase, she has horizontal range increase, she can hit aerial enemies. There's very little things Jessica Alter can't do. The second one, Horn, I would say is not as powerful as Jessica Alter. Still, she is very strong. She can hit enemies from very far away, she can reveal enemies with her S1, she can deal extremely high AoE damage with her S3, a lot of burst damage with her S2. With certain relics, she can even one-shot enemies as long as they have a certain percentage of HP. So yeah, overall, a very powerful unit. And there you have it. These are the 16 most powerful non-limited 6-star gacha units in my opinion. So if you're a new player and don't know what units you want to upgrade and you intend to play IS at some point, or if you're a non-Arknights player and you're tempted to play Arknights just to play IS, I strongly advise upgrading 1 or more units that I just gave you. This was Dr.Pitanger, and thank you for watching this video.